Good afternoon, this is Ryan Tang from the Preuss News Network. Today we're going to be talking about an important event for the community, Preuss community, the Shakespeare Festival. Did you know there hasn't been a live one in 6 years? Today we're going to be talking to teachers and students about more details. This is anchor Ryan Tang and we're here with
Ms. Garcia.
And we're here with a few questions regarding the Shakespeare Festival. First is, why should the Preuss community care?
We teach Shakespeare at the Preuss School. Shakespeare is, one of the most important playwrights ever. There's, a lot of Shakespeare plays that are still staged like every day, every week. Shakespeare is everywhere. Shakespeare should be everywhere because a lot of the arc of stories that we read, the language that we speak every day is, derived from Shakespearean plays and poetry. And also, Shakespeare Festival is going to be held on his birthday, so we are celebrating his life and his work through that.
What are you doing right now to prepare?
Well, my drama classes are preparing a scene from Julius Caesar, and then we're also doing Midsummer Night's Dream. So in our drama classes, we're working on the scenes, and then outside I have a big group that's going to do a Romeo and Juliet scene, 2 scenes from Romeo and Juliet that we're practicing after school for that. There's going to be, a lot of volunteers who are going to help us not only to, plan it, but also execute it, but also like entertainers. And so there's so much going on. So a lot of stuff behind the scenes. If you want to get involved, you know where to go.
Why hasn't there been one in such a long time?
COVID ruined everything. So during COVID, we still had Shakespeare festivals, but in the form of film. And then after we got back from COVID, it kind of continued in the film phase, and then which was okay, but it just didn't have the same festival feeling of live because there were a number of acts. There was music, there was singing, there was, the whole festival atmosphere, there was decorations and all sorts of stuff. And after he left and I took over the drama classes, I didn't do it last year because I was brand new and it's a lot to undertake. But this year I'm like, let's do it. Let's go back to the way it used to be. Now we're going to start small and we'll hopefully get back to where it was in the past.
The Shakespeare Festival is happening April 23rd during Block 7. Teachers who have advisory during that time will take their advisory class to go view the play. And the difference is that it's been changed from a movie format to a live screen play. Many students are participating in this play, and it is exciting to see how much pride they have in the Shakespeare Festival and in school spirit. This is Miss Norze. We're going to interview her about the Shakespeare Festival here at Preuss. And my first question for you is, what are your personal opinions on the Shakespeare Festival?
My personal opinion is I'm very enthusiastic. I am so excited that Ms. Garcia decided to bring back the live Shakespeare Festival. We have been missing it. There are generations of students that have never gotten to experience it due to the pandemic and the kind of transition into a digital format. There's nothing like live theater because the audience is a huge part of a live performance. And so the fact that we've brought back the live experience, I think, is huge. And many of our students haven't even engaged with Shakespeare, so it's going to be a new opportunity for them to explore like the plots, and maybe it will stimulate a little intellectual curiosity where they might see a scene from a play they haven't seen before and think like, oh, that's kind of cool, maybe I'll look something else up about it.
What do you hope the audience and the Preuss community gains from watching the Shakespeare Festival?
Not all our students get the opportunity to engage with live theater or go to a museum, not because their families don't want to, but it's just not possible. The time isn't there. And so for us to be able to offer opportunities for our students to engage in things like live theater, reading the classics, reading Shakespeare, going to museums, taking AP Art History, AP Lit. When you guys go off to college, you'll have that literacy that levels out the playing field with other people. There have been countless alums that have come back and said like, oh, I met these people, I kind of felt like I didn't fit in, but then we started to talk about Shakespeare, we started to talk about art history, and suddenly that was the bond that they could create with them. So it's really, really important. We all come from really fabulous cultures that have a rich tradition, oral traditions, artistic traditions, but the Western tradition is predominant, and especially in academia. So it's really important for our students to get access to that.
What does art bring to the Shakespeare Festival?
There's stagecraft, which is like building of sets and lighting, sound, costumes, makeup, etc. And then there's the actors, and then there's the musicians and the singers. So it is really a collaborative effort. Not that Shakespeare Festival, the first time out of the gate, is going to include all of that, but the aim is to have a little bit of that in there. So Art Club has taken it upon themselves to create this quote-unquote set. So for Shakespeare in the Park, which is what this is emulating, it's a very simplistic kind of stagecraft, right? There's like some kind of curtains in the background and maybe one or two props. So it's not like going to the theater where all your senses are, being stimulated. But they will be creating that kind of backdrop curtain stage set. And then the studio artists will be making an advertisement campaign. So this is a tradition at Preuss. Every year, the Studio 1 students and sometimes the Studio 2 students will make Shakespeare Festival advertisement posters. So those will incorporate the symbols, the narratives, the characters, and maybe even a portrait of William Shakespeare himself as the graphic for the event to help build momentum, entice students to looking forward to attending.
Reporting for the Preuss News Network, this is Ryan Tang. Thank you for watching.